5.
Welcome to KGW News at 5. I'm Joe Ranieri. We begin with team coverage tonight as freezing temperatures hit our state for the second night in a row. Temperatures are expected to drop into the mid to the low 20s. Daisy Caballero is in the Weather Center looking at current temperatures and tracking how cold we can expect to get tonight. But first, let's begin with our Bryant Clerkley, who's at a warming shelter tonight. Bryant, Multnomah County had to open more shelters tonight because they nearly hit capacity last night.
Yeah, Joe, they were at 90% capacity, and they're expecting more people tonight. I'm here at the Charles Jordan Community Center. That's in North Portland. And as you can see, crews are setting up here. You can see the cots and the beds here, and there's pillows, blankets, anything to help people feel warmer. This will open at 8 tonight, and there are more than 400 emergency beds open within the county. County leaders are expecting more people to need help tonight as conditions remain poor for the second night in a row. Several cold weather shelters were open in Multnomah, Clackamas, and Washington County Saturday night. Those shelters will be back open tonight, and Multnomah County will open up 2 more, including this one that I'm in now. The shelter will also provide food and water and a place for pets. Officials say these low temperatures are causing a state of emergency and that more shelters are needed to keep people warm tonight.
I think ultimately our goal is to get people out of life-threatening conditions and to essentially save people's lives. So that's the #1 goal inside the shelter. And then in addition, we want people to have a comfortable spot where they can lay down, get some sleep. We also provide food, water, some hygiene items.
Free transportation to warming shelters is available. You can call 211 or ride TriMet to get to a shelter. Again, Multnomah County will open these shelters at 8 p.m. tonight. And some of the other ones that are opening include Arbor Lodge, the Portland Building, and East Portland Community Center. Joe?
Brian, thank you so much. Daisy Caballero is joining me now. And Daisy, we're going to be seeing some dangerously cold temperatures, not just tonight, but over the next couple of nights, really.
Yeah, absolutely, Joe. Specifically for the Cascades, they are under a wind chill advisory. We'll talk more about that also in my full forecast. But taking a look outside, 36 degrees in the Portland metro area. Beautiful, clear day today. But check those winds. Winds coming out from the east at 22 miles an hour. And if many of you have been hearing us talk about these wind chills, and you might be thinking, how do they come up with these conditions? I wanted to show you guys this quick map from the National Weather Service, hoping to explain this as simply as I can. All right, so remember those conditions. What was it? 36 degrees for the Portland metro, and we saw right around 22 mile per hour winds right now. All right, looking at these temperatures up top, we'll say 35 degrees. And now we're looking at those wind mile per hour, so sustained winds, and we just connect those two right around we'll say 25 and then 35, right around 23, degrees for that wind chill, which can be very dangerous at times as those conditions get a little bit warmer. Taking a look really quick at those max wind gusts today, 95 mile per hour winds over near Mount Hood Meadows. That actually translated to negative 36 degrees. We'll talk more about this and that 7-day forecast coming up, Joe.
Thanks, Daisy. And speaking of Meadows, though, they had to close their lifts earlier today because of those winds. We'll talk with you in about 10 minutes from now. Well, we'll continue to bring you the latest weather updates on air and online. Again, if you are looking for a warming shelter, we have a full list of locations up on our website now, kgw.com. You'll find that article on our front page. Tonight, rescue crews have stopped searching for a missing person in the Lewis River. Authorities say the boat he was in capsized earlier today. Clark Cowlitz fire rescue crews have found the boat near the Lewis River golf course, but are unable to find the missing man. Now, the Clark County Sheriff's Office will investigate. Clark Cowlitz Fire also sharing today that there was another person on that boat when it capsized. That person is being treated for exposure to the elements. A tow truck driver is in the hospital tonight after a hit-and-run crash. Portland Police Bureau says the other driver took off. The crash happened on the Banfield Freeway around 6:45 this morning. The tow truck driver was out of the car when he was hit. He was loading a vehicle onto the tow truck at the time. Authorities found the driver laying on the pavement in front of his car when they arrived. The truck driver has serious injuries, including a broken arm and leg, but he is expected to recover. The effects of the recent string of mass shootings in California is being felt right here in Oregon. Today, members of the Asian Pacific American Network of Oregon held a community vigil in Southeast Portland to honor those who lost their lives in the shootings at Monterey Park and Half Moon Bay last week. 11 people were killed and 9 more were hurt in the Monterey Park shooting. 4 other people were killed at Half Moon Bay. So far this month, there have been at least 6 mass shootings in California.
We value every life. And as a human and as a community member and as a social justice organization, we feel like these acts of violence are senseless and that we're really here to honor those who are most impacted by this violence.
At the vigil, there was an opportunity for people to express themselves through artwork. They say after such tragedy, it's important to remind people they aren't alone and that there is community support. It's been 1 year since Vancouver police officer Donald Sahota was killed by a Clark County Sheriff's deputy. Today, the Vancouver Police Department shared these pictures, writing, "Today marks 1 year since the death of Vancouver Police Department officer Donald Sahota. May he forever rest in peace." Last January, Deputy Jonathan Feller shot and killed Officer Sahota. Sahota was at a home fighting with an armed robbery suspect who showed up in his driveway. The suspect managed to get inside Sahota's house. When Deputy Feller got to the scene, he saw Sahota running towards the home with a gun. He thought Sahota was the suspect, and that's when he shot him. Officer Sahota died at the scene. Earlier this month, we learned Deputy Feller will not be criminally charged.
It hurts me. It really hurts.
That woman's car was stolen from her driveway in Southeast Portland this week after she helped homeless people who lived nearby. Now, she later found her car at their camp, but is still waiting for help from police. Blair Best has the story.
Beverly Cipolla is new to Portland's Hazelwood neighborhood.
Just moved here from California.
In an effort to be closer to family, she bought a new car and drove to Oregon. After the move, she ended up with a spare mattress, which she offered to people living at a nearby homeless camp.
We were doing courtesy of feeling sorry for the people out there.
She let them into her garage to pick it up.
And I had my keys hanging. I always leave them hanging on the doorknob, the garage.
The next morning,
it's like that's missing.
And your dog knows.
And then when it first happened, my brother came in the room and he said, "Sis, your car's gone."
Inside was her walker, wheelchair, and portable breathing machine.
It hurts me. It really hurts.
Also hurt, her daughter Elizabeth, who has special needs.
I like going out with my mom and I can't go out anymore.
The stolen car was a black Honda. The last time they saw it was parked outside a homeless camp down the street. It was the same homeless camp that they gave the mattress to.
I called the police and told them that the car's been in the neighborhood. And that's all I told them.
According to Portland police data, since December 2021, more than 11,000 vehicles have been stolen, 603 of them from the neighborhood Cipolla now lives in. Portland police have recovered 92% of all the stolen cars.
I feel like they're not doing their job, getting out there and looking for cars.
Police warn people like Cipolla not to retrieve their cars from homeless camps for safety reasons and to call them instead. Cipolla says she did call them, but Portland police says they don't have that recorded in their system. Cipolla and her family are still waiting for help from police and are now relying on neighbors like Bob Hawley for safety.
We all live on the same street and just trying to keep an eye out on things. People need to start putting their differences aside and start looking out for one another, start being neighborhoods again.
In Southeast Portland, Blair Best, KGW News.
Now to an emergency declaration from Governor Tina Kotek. She's asking the Oregon legislature to approve money to fight homelessness statewide. The governor is asking for $130 million to provide shelter to at least 1,200 people. The money would also help another 9,000 people at risk of becoming homeless. The declaration includes $33 million in rent assistance, almost $24 million to build low barrier shelter beds and hire workers to connect homeless people to shelters and services. The governor's office says this funding package is just the first step in addressing the state's homeless crisis. The city of Portland is launching another 90-day reset plan on the Central East Side. Crews will remove abandoned cars and homeless camps and install better lighting. There will also be more police patrols. The reset is meant to address concerns around safety, cleanliness, and accessibility. Old Town got a similar 90-day reset last year. This winter, we've been seeing what king tides can do when coupled with a big storm surge. And in Washington, experts with the Department of Ecology studying sea level rise are learning from these events to help coastal communities cope. Tim Gordon has more.
What a winter with the annual king tides rolling in the highest tides of the season. In one notable instance, happening at a stormy time that added to the surge, bringing seawater flooding and even jellyfish to downtown Olympia. It is these types of events ecology experts say show what to expect in coming years and decades.
So they give us a real glimpse of what sea level rise would look like in the future, because what those are the highest tides of the year, and typically will be associated with coastal flooding.
These four men are involved with learning what to expect in the near and long term and how to adjust to protect Washington's 56 cities and counties that have marine shorelines.
We know that there are about 14,000 structures and homes that are could be at risk of coastal flooding by 2050.
Washington's Department of Ecology has been studying the state's changing coast for many years, how the change is connected to climate change and even tectonic shifts. The state works with local leaders to mitigate the damage now and in the future. Case in point, an $88,000 grant for Pacific County, home to the Long Beach Peninsula, to help come up with a protection plan there.
They're looking at inundation hazards and, to existing shorelines and different assets in their community that they need to protect and how to plan for those while doing their best to engage the community.
These experts say with sea levels expected to rise about a foot in the next 80 years, working with coastal communities is key.
And it's really encouraging and inspiring, I would say, of the communities that are working on this, both from a planning perspective, all the way down to designing on-the-ground projects that address the existing hazards, but with a future-looking lens.
Tim Gordon, KGW News.